So the fastest way to sell things online is to drive people to a web page that actually converts them into customers. But in order to do that, you need to be able to say the right stuff on the web page, like sales copy. Now there's a new AI tool that thinks like a marketer and writes unbelievably good copy without you even having to type anything. In this video, I'm going to show you how to use it. So the name of the software is called Ojoy.ai. Ojoy.ai. This thing is crazy because it can like read a book or read a video transcript or look at your product and just like write the sales copy for you. To show you how this works, we're going to pretend like we want to sell this video. This is an interview with Alex Hormozy. Solid video, by the way, by this dude, David Perel. Really good. Anyway, let's just pretend that we're going to sell this video, all right? Obviously, we're not going to, but just to show you how this AI works. So the first thing we're going to do is I'll just copy the transcripts from this video, and we're going to use AI to read through the whole video, find all the cool stuff about it, and then create a sales pitch for it and find the big idea. And we're not even going to type. Yeah, seriously. So check this out. I'm going to give you the transcripts to a YouTube video below. I want you to read every single word of the transcripts, and I want you to find every imaginable benefit in there. I want you to find every single cool thing that the video is teaching and talking about, and then just make me a list of them. Do that for me now. I'm going to put the transcripts in brackets below this. Okay, so one of the cool things about this tool is you don't have to type. You can just talk to it. And we did that on purpose because it's hard to like prompt because your brain like gets into writing mode, you know, and you're like, oh man, am I going to sound right? Am I doing this right? Am I going to make a typo or whatever? And that sucks. So it's way easier to just like type, you know. So it'll take a second to figure all this stuff out. It's got to, you know, read through however long that video was, and it's literally reading every single word of this thing, which is different from like ChatGPT or other models because they do something called truncating the data. It's really dorky and boring, but they don't actually read it all. This does. So it can take a minute sometimes. All right. So anyway, this particular thing, this Project Shepherd, which is part of Ojoy.ai, this is designed for you to talk back and forth with it. So it's normal for it to ask us a lot of questions and everything. And I'm just going to like try to get it to bypass that because right now I just want the list. What I need you to do is like pretend that I want to sell somebody access to this video. With that in mind, I just want you to go through the entire video and find every single cool thing that it talks about. Just give me an outline of it. All right. Just like from that frame of mind, though. So like pretend you're wanting to write an ad for it or whatever, and just find every imaginable cool thing that they're talking about in there. Okay. So it'll decipher this and then it'll do that thing. And now it's done. So here's the outline of it and so forth. And we can, of course, have it expand on all of this kind of thing. And then it says, you know, the interview is essentially a masterclass in writing and business strategy. Great. All right. So now here's what we're going to do. All right. I want to find like the big idea in here. So obviously our big idea is not in the outline, nor is it supposed to be at this point. I'm just wanting AI to do my thinking for me because God knows I don't want to have to do any real work. So check this out. All right. So pretending now and assuming that I want to sell somebody access to this video, what is the coolest part of it? Like what's the single most interesting, fascinating, beneficial thing that someone will learn in this particular video? Okay, so now what it's going to do is it's going to go through it and it's going to try to figure this out for me. What the tool did is it's like, all right, essentially the coolest thing about this is it's showing this dude's process of like behind the scenes, how he actually did what he did, which is great. So we could position it as a behind the scenes type of thing. And that is in fact very cool, but we could go even deeper. All right, so check this out. Okay, so assuming we went with that angle, let's just sort of kind of keep that in the back of your mind for a minute. What will they learn how to do by watching this video? So come up with every single thing that the viewer is going to learn how to do, and then just like make a list of that for me real quick. And this is solid, all right? So this is what someone will learn about, like from the frame here of, hey, this video is going to teach you how to write cool stuff. But let's like not be lazy. Well, let's be super lazy, but let's not be stupid, okay? There's probably more cool stuff in here. So check this out. What will they learn about sales and marketing? What will they learn about advertising? Are there any other things that we might be missing here? Make me a list of any other thing that they could also learn in this video. All right, so again, I just don't want to miss anything, nor would you. Amazing. All right, so now it's gone back through it and it's looking at the video from a different perspective. Okay, and this is exactly what a professional copywriter, a professional advertiser would do. They would try to find every imaginable angle they could to sell your stuff. So again, we're just pretending, we're not actually going to try to go sell Alex's content or anything, or that dude, that would be uncool, but it's a good example for you. So here now is how we can really go deep using Ojoy. So check this out. Okay, so now we have a lot of different things that someone can learn from watching this video. So do me a favor and make a complete list, including everything about sales and marketing that someone's going to learn from this video. And also, while you're at it, go through the transcripts one more time and see if there's anything that we missed. Thanks. I love that you don't have to type. The thing about AI, again, like trying to figure out what am I supposed to say, because your brain goes into writing mode and you leave that thinking about stuff mode. So it's kind of a pain in the ass, but not having to type is great because you can just ramble like I am and it still freaking works. So now we've got all kinds of cool stuff. Okay, so I want to tell it one more time. So combine this list with what they'll also learn about writing a book. So like give me everything, okay? And put it all in one big list, just like this one. So now we've got it all in here, right? And we've got it not from like summarize this video perspective. We have this from the perspective of, okay, what's valuable to a viewer? What like kind of angles could we use here? So here's the big ass list. Like I said, it's a really freaking good video. So it was interesting. I learned some cool stuff in here. So now what we can do is we can say, now that you know all of the cool stuff that someone is going to learn in this video, what would you say is the big idea? Like if we want to sell this, what is the single most compelling angle that we can take to sell it? Actually, give me 2 or 3 ideas of like the most compelling ways that we could approach selling this and how we could position it. And so it's come up with 3 of them, and its job right now isn't to like write the copy, it's just to give us the ideas. So like I would never write that messy truth behind $1 million books in copy. But so here's one angle, and it's got some, explanation of why it thinks it's cool. The hidden framework factory, where this is just like selling it based on the fact that you're going to learn cool frameworks. And then here's how you can build an empire off of books. That's another angle. And Ojoy says angle number 1 is strongest. I believe that it is too. However, this isn't what I would say. Now, this is where actually paying attention to marketing pays off for you, because you're probably going to be thinking the same thing I'm going to show you in a second, which is this. Is there anywhere in the video where they say how much money Alex made directly from selling this book, or how many copies of this book were sold? So if we're going to use angle number 1, it's super compelling to be like, we're going to show you the exact process that a dude went through to sell X amount of books or make X amount of money or whatever. So the video doesn't say how many books it sold or how much money he made from it, but I bet we can use this magical tool that no one ever talks about called Google to find out. All right, so here we are on the Google $100 million leads book sales, and I'll just click on their site, which probably I should have done that in the first place. But here it says, okay, great. Sold over 800,000 copies worldwide. Awesome. All right. So that book sold over 800,000 copies. Let's just round it down to 800,000 so we're not exaggerating. All right, cool. So did the math for us, and that's what's called a metric fuck ton of money right there. So that's really good. Now, we don't know for sure that every single copy was sold for $19.99. Like, I think they did a big launch. But then again, I think it was actually kind of at that price. I can't remember. Some of them might have been $10 or whatever. But let's just assume this is true for now, and just go ahead and keep doing the letter. So it's telling us all this kind of stuff right here, and it asks, hey, what do you want to do now that we know this amount of money? So check it out. Well, now that we know how much the book made, are there any changes you would make to the marketing angles that we would use to get someone to buy access to this video, knowing what they're going to learn from watching this video? And yeah, naturally it came to the same conclusion we did now that it knows that the revenue figure, which is, okay, yeah, the main angle is you're going to see the exact process that someone used to sell $16 million worth of books and stuff. And I agree. All right, so let's do this. Now that we have like the general concept here, let's see if we can write a little bit of sales copy for it. So check this out. Okay, assuming that we were going to write a long form direct response sales letter, and we were going to take that angle of here's how, the $16 million book actually got written. Give me an outline of how you would write the sales letter. Don't write the whole thing or anything. Just like give me the outline and the structure of it. And it did. All right. So this is looking solid. I like this idea of like showing the image of Alex's actual rough notes if we can, assuming that we've got them, that's pretty cool. It's actually a really good idea because it's like a visual grabber. This is interesting. It's leading with the problem and the pain that the reader experiences. And what's cool is it learned that from watching the video. So there's all kinds of ways you could write a sales letter, but it's literally following the advice of what's taught in the video, which is crazy. It's cool. It works. So let's get it to go ahead and write the hook and the lead for us. So hang on. Go ahead and write the hook and the lead section for me, please. Don't go into the challenges yet. Just write a rough draft of the hook and the lead part. Okay, now, is by rough draft, like we're not even talking about the tone and the writing style yet, right? We're just kind of getting the general concepts and the big ideas here out on paper. We can make it sound cool in a minute, but let's just see how it does with this. Okay, so it wrote and it's doing what I want it to do, and now we want to do something that you always want to do with AI, which is make sure that it's like we can back up what it's saying here. So I need to make sure that the reader actually would see all 19 versions. Does it show the 19 versions in the video itself? I don't want to promise anything in the sales copy that we can't deliver in the video. And while we're going along those lines, does the video show anything such as the messy notebook pages that are filled with crossed out ideas or anything like that? Okay, cool. So it reread the transcripts and it doesn't show all 19 versions of the rough drafts. And really, who would want to see that anyway? And that's not really that cool. Like, I don't want to write 19 freaking rough draft versions. I want to learn how to do it right the first time. And that's where we would talk about the frameworks, incidentally. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to tell it, okay, cool. So we're going to leave out, let's leave out any mention of the rough drafts and stuff because we don't have the 19 rough drafts and I don't want to even deal with that. Instead, let's make this hook about you're going to learn how to write a book, you're going to learn how to sell a book, you're going to learn how to do it from a guy that sold 800,000 copies and did 15 million some odd dollars in revenue. And yeah, that's it, right? So let's write it from that perspective, which it kind of did, but for some reason, it's very impressed with the fact that Alex wrote a gazillion drafts of this thing, which is impressive, but it's not really going to help us sell the video. Okay, so it rewrote this, and the writing is okay, but this is fine. This is all we need because now we can make it cool. There's a lot of ways we could like train it and tell it how to write and everything, one of the easiest ways is this little trick I'll show you. All right, see this? This is a sample of my writing. All right, so copy, there we go. I'm just gonna copy all of this. There's actually a giant prompt for it. And let me get this off the screen here. Now I'm just gonna paste it in here, and I'm gonna teach it to write like me by copying and pasting. Now you could do the exact same thing with your copy. You could tell it to change its tone or whatever. It's up to you, but this is much easier in terms of making it actually sound cool and everything. So rewrite the intro in the first part of the sales letter using what you've now learned. Write it like me. Okay, now let's see how it sounds. So now we've got sales language that's a lot more like a direct response salesperson here. And this is solid. Now, of course, we would still edit it, and make little tweaks and everything. But let's go ahead and now have it write the next section for us. All right, so go ahead and write the next section for me. So now we've got the first part of the sales letter and the second part all tied together, and it did a nice segue into the problems over here, which is good. All right, and we could continue on like this. So what you would do in this case is you would get your rough draft written, and then we would tweak it. So let's say that we're ready to start talking about the benefits of the book, right? So I don't want to, you don't want to watch me have it write every little single section of this sales letter. So let's do this one little section. Okay, what I need you to do right now is think of all of the benefits that they're going to get from watching this video, like every single thing that they're going to learn, and write me bullet points for them. Really need them to be excellent. I got this little theory when it comes to sales copy, which is bullet points equal money. So check it out. These are solid bullet points. So when we're in the part of the sales letter where you're talking about everything they're going to learn in the video, we have really good bullet points we can use. So let's imagine now, just to kind of wrap this up, I don't want the video to be 7 million years. I just want to show you how to use AI so you can write really good copy. Let's say we're at the part where we've got all of the pieces put together and everything, and we want to start going back and editing it. First of all, there's always going to be some actual real editing that you need to do when you're doing sales copy. Duh. But we can still make AI do most of the heavy lifting. So in this case, let's do this. Okay, I want you to rewrite the first part of the sales letter that you just gave me, and I want you to make it a little bit punchier, and I want you to write it at 7th grade reading level for me. So it did, and it's much easier to read. Now, since we're editing, I don't think they really care that much about Alex at this stage. They care about themselves, right? So let's have it make another little change. Okay, this is good. Let's change the intro a little bit, though, because I don't think the reader cares that much about Alex. I think they really care about making money by selling books. So with that in mind, understand that we're writing to somebody who has an idea. They want to write a book, and they want to sell the book, and they want to, hopefully make a lot of money. We don't want to make any income claims. But with that understood, that's really what the reader wants, let's redo this intro so we're really talking to their desires. Basically, let's lead with what they're going to learn how to do, right out of the gate. And now we got something. All right, we had something before, but now we've got something really good. This is where we're starting to do real copywriting. So we're talking to their core desire here. Do you want to write and sell a book that actually makes money, not just another book that sits there? And then we create an open loop here, which is great. But before I show you how it works, you need to know why most people fail at this. Here's what's going on. So this is solid. Now we can mess with it some more, but I don't want to make this video super long. And we'll do one little thing here too, just to really top it off, I suppose. Okay, this is a great opening. Now that you understand who we're writing to, and now like looking at the way you've written this opening and everything, I want you to give me 10 different headline ideas, hardcore direct response headlines that we would use for this sales letter. These need to be based on like heavy duty, hardcore direct response principles, and give me some that are shocking, give me some that make the reader very curious, give me some that make big promises, and give me anything else you think that could be really, really cool. I just need the headlines. Give me 10 of them. Okay, these are all viable. I like this one. Number one. This is great. So check this out. I love headline number one. I think that's great. Now that you know that like that is an excellent headline and a great way to start everything off, rewrite the intro again and tie that in. Tie the intro into the headline itself. Let's just see what we can get here. You know what's cool about this is I haven't typed. Like, I'm a copywriter and I've been doing it for 25 years. I type, it's the most ridiculous thing. I use 2 fingers on this hand and 3 fingers on this hand. Don't know how to type. Now we got it. All right. Now we're there. This is important. Like, this is how you do it. You know, doesn't matter what the tool, you're not going to find a tool better than Ojoy, period. But when you combine AI's power with just common sense marketing and you just kind of push it a little bit, you know, and like let yourself have a good time and scheme with it, you can end up getting some really badass copy. Like this could end up being a very, very good sales letter for that video. Now, of course, again, to be clear, like we're not going to go and try to sell this YouTube video or anything. I just wanted to use it as an example because it was right there in front of me and it was very easy for us to do. But this is how you do it, man. So, you know, you got a couple of choices, I guess. You could spend 25 years and write a gazillion sales letters and hopefully get pretty good at it. Or you could, you know, go and get an ebook with magical prompts in there or something. Or you could use Ojoy.ai, which you can try for free at Ojoy.ai. So go try it for free and enjoy and sell a lot of stuff. All right. Thanks for watching this long ass video. Didn't plan to go this long, but I love doing this kind of thing. So that's why I did it. I hope it was helpful to you. Take it easy.